Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
All right. It's been a weekend. Got the kids in the house. Now it's actually rest time now that they've gone back to school.
Yes, the early morning hurricane through the house and kids off to school. And it's
Yes.
Monday, and we have got some interesting news. Dewald, you want to take the freight logistics specialist news?
Yeah, let's just put it up here. Okay, this is shared on Fresh Plaza. Last week, the CGA WhatsApp groups shared the link to this. I could only briefly sign in. He sent the link. I opened it up, signed in, and just had a look at what it was. And it was the presentation for this. Unfortunately, I couldn't sit through the whole thing and listen to it. If we had maybe had a little bit more time, we could have made time to go through it. But unfortunately, we were busy with other things. Okay, so the title says there needs to be a balance in investments that are made in rail and road infrastructure in South Africa. With South Africa deepening its efforts towards shifting freight from road to rail, the Department of Transport, freight logistics specialist, and unfortunately I can't pronounce the lady's name, says that there needs to be a balance in investment. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Said that the amount of rail infrastructure investments pales in comparison to road. Well, that's kind of logical. According to National Treasury and the Minister of Transport's budget vote speech 2023-2024 year, the allocation for roads, transfers and subsidies is 42.4 billion rand. And for 24-25, the estimate is another 42.4 billion rand. This figure excludes the equitable share grant that provinces and municipalities get for infrastructure development. So that's national roads, from what I understand. Rail infrastructure investment is limited to the allocation for the Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa, PRASA. So they want to transport people. We can't eat people.
No, we can't eat people. That's a whole different show, Dewald.
Yeah. Whilst freight rail relies on Transnet investments and competes with ports and pipelines. So Transnet, from what I understand from this, is that the budget that Transnet has to be spent between the ports, the pipelines, and the rails. So which one do you choose then? It is therefore imperative that balance in investment be fostered so that the shift can be realized. Historically, this is in inverted commas, so it's a quote. Historically, public sector investment has largely been skewed towards road infrastructure investments, and going forward, there is a need to leverage a wide range of public and private investment tools to finance the construction and operation of rail freight infrastructure. Okay. Obviously, people invested in roads because the rails are all screwed up. Who's gonna bring money to the table and say, fix this, if there is nobody that can manage it and run it and look after it and make sure it works?
Yes, it's in. Look, we must remember this is Transnet. Transnet, the blot on the landscape at the moment is what's happening in our ports, and as a result of Transnet. So this is the same problem. It extends closer to the growers. It extends closer to everyone else. So it's one of those things whereby, yeah. What did you want to say?
Historically, there's been more investments done into the road. Probably trucks and things of the sorts, but it's a no-brainer that people invested there because the rail system just didn't work. So what's the point of investing into the rail system?
Well, interestingly, the fruit industry has a long history of trying to move the movement of containers of fruit and pallets and containers of fruit from the fruit production areas to the ports, to move it from trucks onto rail. Because of course, if you're sending 30 30 containers on a train, you can actually get one movement with 30 containers to the port. But if you can't get that together, you need 30 individual trucks, which is putting all that weight onto the roads. But for various reasons, including, people need to cooperate. If you need to move 30 things at once, you've got to have a lot of buy-in and a lot of cooperation. And then, of course, there's all the rail infrastructure and making it work and getting it there on time and making sure everything is kept cold. So, yes, if the fruit industry could get the rail system to work, it would be a huge plus. And I mean, this just exacerbates the problem in the port, that suddenly, instead of one train coming in and with 30 containers on it, you've got 30 trucks arriving that have to be unloaded. So it all adds to the same problem that we're having, ultimately getting the stuff from the growers to the port and into the port. So yeah, it is a big issue.
Yeah, well, we're going to be chatting to Mitchell Brook again on Wednesday morning, where we probably will get more insights on this, because I know Mitchell will be working very closely with with the people that put together this report and the findings and everything. So
indeed,
I'll be sharing the links and everything to that a little bit later today, so that people can tune in on Wednesday morning. And go time at this stage is 10 a.m. Wednesday, but we're going to be chatting further about the Vision 260 plan. Okay, so that's a little bit of bad news, I would say.
More of the same.
Yes.
And then what is your next topic you want to choose? Go and speak about California?
No, the kiwi fruit.
Oh, that one. Okay, great.
Okay. There's an article in Fresh Plaza that we found by a gentleman with the name Peter Nicholson from Roseland Farms. The title is, yes, I feel this is one of the most exciting opportunities in agriculture in the world right now. It's a big statement.
Indeed.
The South African gold kiwi fruit season is looking very positive this year, according to Peter Nicholson from Roseland Farms, who grows gold kiwi fruit in the Midlands of KwaZulu-Natal and who is a shareholder in the intellectual property of both the Sunveld, formerly Skelton, as well as the Top Gold varieties. After a very challenging few years since we planted in 2013, we are finally gaining traction with new orchards and new varieties coming into production with high yields and good size and quality fruit. Over the past decade, we have learned invaluable lessons on how to grow this very technical fruit in South Africa, said Pete, and are passing on the valuable knowledge to our new growers through a mentorship program, as well as providing technical support. There is no margin for error growing gold kiwi fruit, and the support we provide is vital for our growers to succeed. Kiwi fruit season is about to kick off, so we've spoken to Roelof from the Kiwi Connection on a podcast previously, and also on the live in the mornings about the kiwi fruit. So we are just as excited about this.
Yes, it's a very interesting industry in that kiwi fruit has been grown in South Africa for a very long time, but it kind of wasn't very prominent and all the rest until they started with these gold and red kiwi fruit, and it became clear that South Africa has a very good marketing window at a time of the year when there are not kiwi fruit coming from anywhere else in the world. So this has really driven a real upsurgence in interest in kiwi fruit and extended. There are more growers now than there used to be. Yes, from a small base, but it's growing. And the kiwi fruit industry also recently, in the last few years, have established a grower association. So this is quite exciting, and it's a boom in the fruit industry.
There's only around 250 hectares currently planted in South Africa of this high-yielding, high-value superfruit, and a decade of experience is now under the belts. Last year, South Africa as a whole exported just under 1,200 tons of kiwi fruit, but this year, with new orchards coming into production, volumes are estimated at 1,500 tons and set to increase substantially year on year. Okay, here's the interesting.
That's exciting.
just want to, where's that paragraph?
They've, from what I understand, they've been receiving quite good returns from markets. And kiwi fruit's an extremely interesting plant in that they need both male and female plants, and the pollen and distributing the pollen into the orchard is a whole science on its own. And
Yes,
it's very, very interesting finding
you
out
can
about the
literally
kiwi.
you can literally just farm male plants. You can have a production just to farm pollen for kiwis, which is
Yes,
interesting. Okay, we expect the
yes,
window to potentially be even bigger this year due to the problems with shipping through the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. And the Panama Canal is also experiencing delays due to the drought, which is adding a week onto transit time. So again, if somebody fails, the other one succeeds, and hopefully it's good
yes.
for us. That
And
is
so
my
much, and so much of this export commerce has got to do with getting there the fastest, getting there the cheapest, and getting there the earliest. And you know, here we go. So problems in the two shipment canals at Suez and Panama suddenly changes the scenario for people shipping stuff to international markets.
And the nice thing about kiwi fruit is in certain varieties, I'm not exactly sure which ones, can actually be stored in controlled atmosphere rooms for a short while. So
Okay.
that helps with the fact that if you can't get it on the ship right now and you have got a controlled atmosphere container, it could possibly stand for a short while. But again, I'm stand to be corrected if I'm wrong, and please do if.
Indeed. Well, it's very exciting to know about an industry in our country, a fruit industry that's actually booming. And for Peter Nicholson to say, I feel this is one of the most exciting opportunities in agriculture in the world right now, that's very, very good news. So best of luck to the South African gold kiwi fruit growers, and we hope it's a good season ahead for you.
Yes, then a little bit over the seas. Massive California fruit grower is bankrupt. Here's how many jobs will be lost. That is Prima Wawona, which we've also talked about. We have previously been fortunate enough to visit one of their pack houses and one of their cold rooms, and also an orchard. So yeah, they've gone down the tubes by the looks of things.
Yes.
5,400 workers this spring will be laid off. Fruit company prepares to sell off 16,000 acres of prime farmland. That's about roughly 8,000 hectares.
That's a lot of farmland in the heartland of fruit production in California. So wow, it says here it's going to have a significant
stone fruit.
effect. Sorry?
And it's predominantly stone fruit. So
Stone fruit.
it's not a variety of crops that they produce that you can get a variety of buyers coming in.
We were lucky enough to be there at the time when they were in the middle of their season, and I have never seen stone fruit that size. Absolutely incredible, beautiful production, beautiful fruit. So yes, it's very sad. So watch this. We'll just have to watch this from a distance. Hope somebody can buy up this.
It says here, long-time farmers say the demise of the mega company and the sudden availability of that much valuable agricultural real estate is unprecedented. The shattering of the business is a blow to the migrant worker community, with 7 of every 10 employees at the company being a seasonal farm worker. And we saw that.
Yes. Well, yes, we hope somebody will buy one hopes somebody will buy this company and turn it around. But sure, it's very sad to see this kind of thing.
Yeah, well, it's always sad when you hear of big companies, big growers going out of business. It's always a sad thing.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, it's Monday and we have to get on with things. Remember to please join us on Wednesday to hear what Mitchell Brook from CGA has to say about what's happening with Transnet and in his negotiations with them and how things are looking. It's been extremely interesting to hear from him. and have a good Monday.
Yes. Chat later.
Bye.
Bye bye.